Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program agenda. We seem to be having some delay here. But anyway, good day to all of you. Welcome to the program agenda. And today, if I'm not mistaken, is August 20 ba? 20 yata, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's August 19. Nagmamadali ako masyado. It's August 19. It's a Friday. Welcome to the program agenda. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV, channels 8 and 250. Okay, let's get on with today's program with our daily starter. And today's daily starter is from, Facebook. Hindi po ito Instagram, Facebook. Wherever you are, be all there. Okay? Ito po ay sabi nga nila, this is a interesting short daily starter, but it's a daily starter that we all need to take to heart. Kasi marami po sa atin, we're at work, but our head is in the basketball court, our head is in the beach, or we're at home, but we're thinking of the office and not actually watching our kids or being there, we are not participating at home. So whether it's in raising the kids, taking care of the family, or being attentive to your loved one, be there. Wag po yung ang puso mo nasa iba, yung katawan mo nandito. Okay, wag po tayo yung ang babaeng naghihiwalay. Okay, ang katawan. Anyway, wherever you are, be all there. Now, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Today, August 19, 2022, the headline is Sugar Warehouses Visited. Binisita daw. Naku naman. Hindi nila masabing ni-raid, pero yun na nga po yun. Okay? Members of the Customs, Bureau of Customs, Enforcement Bureau, visited several warehouses, particularly in Pampanga, where they came across thousands of bags of sugar that have questionable documentation, to say the least. Okay, so I think that is the government's way of sending a message to traders, importers who are currently or planning to hoard sugar. Don't, because the Bureau of Customs, the PNP, and the SRA will be watching you. Okay, at the top of the front page, we have Metro COVID cases finally on downward trend. Hindi na raw po masyadong problema yung COVID cases because pababa na, pakaunti na, but we still have to be careful, okay? It's not completely gone, okay? That the surge is going down, but it doesn't mean that we've flatlined. No. Okay? And then Palas, sugar industry, okays 150,000 metric tons of sugar. So, ayun po, no? Okay. Finally, we have official confirmation that the government will be importing sugar. The center part of the front page is a photo. Okay, the National Commission for Culture of the Arts has issued a cease and desist order against the ongoing demolition of the Capitol Theater in Esculta. Okay? The theater, which was designed by national artist Juan Nakpil and built in the 1930s, served as one of the go-to cinemas and performance venues during a time when Esculta was a bustling center of commerce and culture. Ayan po, medyo, ewan ko lang, may natira pa ba doon sa harapan ng theater, okay? The Capitol Theater, because that has become such a practice in the Philippines. We just destroy the very few remaining historical and heritage sites. Okay, Omicron-specific vax can serve as third booster. Yesterday, we mentioned that the government is planning or already preparing to purchase the Omicron-specific vaccinations if and when they are made available. Now, part of that planning is to consider or label it as your third booster. Okay. And below that story, you have an exclusive interview of House Speaker Martin Romualdez sharing his views with the Philippine Star, and the Philippine National Police bars U.S. lawmakers from visiting former Senator Laila de Lima, while the same batch of senators paid a courtesy call on President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. And on top of that picture, Paul Bear's challenges awaiting teachers. Okay, public school teachers continue to shell out personal money to prepare their classrooms ahead of the start of Monday's face-to-face. Kumbaga, they did a survey, and it turns out that many of our teachers are using personal money to buy certain requirement. Okay, let's now go to our main topic. And our first interview for today, Gab, could we clarify the line up? Okay. Oh, we will go for a quick break first because we need to do some realignment here on agenda. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. And in spite of pending petitions for temporary restraining order, particular members of Metro Manila Mayor's Council have decided to remain or stand pat on their position to sustain the no contact apprehension policy. We've invited someone to explain that and the history of all of these policies, and let's see and let's watch their video.
Wes Gatchalian currently serves as the mayor of Valenzuela. Prior to this, he was the city's first district representative from the 16th to 18th Congress. In his previous stint as a representative, he was the vice chairman of the House Committee on Transportation.
Okay, Mayor, Congressman Wes, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Cito, and a pleasant day to all your viewers.
Okay, I appreciate you are agreeing to come to the program because we want to air all sides all the time. And while everyone has aired their complaints regarding NCAP, none of the mayors have actually come forward or agreed to be interviewed to explain paano ba nag-umpisa ito. How did this PPP or public-private partnership project involving NCAP come to be?
Well, first of all, Cito, thank you for the opportunity that you gave me to listen to the side not only of myself, but I believe, for the other 5 mayors. Well, Cito, the reason I mentioned that is because yesterday we came up with a unified and joint statement together with the 5 mayors plus MMDA Chairman Carlos de Mayuga. And our call to continue with the NCAP and to support this program. Basically, ang nangyari dito kasi, Cito, in the past weeks, I know we've been hearing all about numerous things on the NCAP. Kadalasan po ang kaming mga mayors nababash na sa social media, etc. But LTO never gave us due process on explaining our side. In fact, I myself, I've never received any call from LTO. Kaya nagugulat po kaming mayors why LTO last August 10 released a memo without even consulting us, and the memo said that they will not allow our suppliers to connect to the system of LTO. So until to date, Cito, LTO has never consulted us or met with the 5 mayors, maybe including MMDA. And also, nagulat na lang kami, the reason why we came together and united to speak about this matter is because we heard from the news na meron palang case filed on the Supreme Court, no? And unfortunately, I myself, I have never received a copy again. So kaming mga mayors, we were never given the due process or the chance to air our side, and would like to thank the media partners natin. Kayo lang ho ang nagbigay ng side sa amin to explain on this issue.
Well, actually, Mayor West, no, pag nag-meeting kayo ng mga ibang mayor, pakisabi lang sa kanila, we tried to reach out to them and only Mayor West Gatchalian accommodated us. So I'm returning the compliment to you. You are responding. Your other amigos did not, kumbaga, na-snub kami, no? Anyway, that's water under the bridge. That's not a big issue. But how exactly did all of this begin? Because historically, MMDA already has a no-contact apprehension policy. The only difference is that it was an MMDA operation, the equipments were theirs, and the collection was done by the MMDA, and the fines, as reiterated by our friend Colonel Bong Nebriha yesterday on the show, was ranging from 150 to 500 on the extreme side na yung 1,500 to 2,000 if you were obstructing traffic on EDSA. In other words, tumirik ka o nag-illegal parking ka sa EDSA, mahal yung multa. But otherwise, mura lang naman or affordable. Okay, let's use the term affordable. However, with this new NCAP, how did this begin with the 5 or 6 cities naman? Because I was under the impression there were only 4 of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cito, of course, this is a PPP project. And a PPP project, this is widely accepted by many LGUs is because malaki ang savings natin in investing in software and hardware of such a program, no? Mm-hmm. So in MMDA case, maybe they have the budget or they wanna operate on their own because they have the magnitude on the whole of the whole Metro Manila. But in our case, meron lang naman supplier po na lumapit, pinag-aralan ho namin, napakaganda po yung system, it's the same system they use in first world countries, no? Mm-hmm. So we signed up with them. But the internal partnership between that supplier and LTO, we're not privy to it, no? By the time na lumapit sila to offer the same system to us, which is the same system po sa, I believe, nauna yata Parañaque, no? Valenzuela is one of the pioneer as well. Later on, they offered it to Quezon City, San Juan, and Manila, no? So, sa amin naman LGU, we reviewed the program. Maganda ho talaga yung programa is because wala na tayong human intervention dito. Wala na yung possibility of kotong. Ito, technology-based evidence wherein you will see the picture itself, you will see the video itself, and it will be sent to you in most time 1 week, no, to your registered address. And the connection to LTO, wala ho kaming powers dyan, no? It's the supplier and LTO who has that MOA together. Long time ago, Cito, natatawa nga ako bakit ngayon lang itong issue lumalabas where in fact, as far as 2017, may partnership na sila sa LTO. And then LTO naman right now is the same entity that will question a project that they went into.
Okay, Mayor West, maybe if I may interject, no, kasi I have to be fair to all sides. From what I understand kasi, the supplier, the IT supplier of LTO has changed from the old company, hindi ko lang matandaan, pero they now went to Dermalag or something, a German group. So, 2 different companies, and with this new company that came in recently, parang hello, we don't have any arrangement for that. In fact, they're very particular dahil alam mo naman German, they're very particular. So kung ano lang yung kanilang service agreement or contract with LTO, yun lang yung kanilang pinapasok. But anyway, so you've so far clarified it's practical, it is kotong free, etc. Now, let's clear up some of the issues or impressions. The impression is, okay, you said it's a PPP. According to Congressman Joey Salceda, when it comes to police power, law enforcement, this cannot be part of a public-private project, partnership, because it is police power. Kumbaga, pwedeng infrastructure, pwedeng health, etc. But when it comes to police power, only the national government and its appointed or deputized bodies, such as you, can implement or execute police power. Hindi nyo pwedeng ipasa sa third party.
Well, in the 1991 Local Government Code, we are allowed, all LGUs are allowed to go into PPP. In fact, in the SONA of our good President BBM, na-mention niya rin ho ito, pushing government agencies to join with private entities, no? And yung pagkasabi po na, let's be clear lang dito, baka hindi ho na nalilinawan, it is not the private sector who is managing the program in our individual cities.
Mhm.
Hindi ho siya yung nanguhuli, hindi ho siya yung nagbibigay ng figure doon sa penalties. It is an ordinance. And this PPP of us is hindi ho ito in-implement lang ng supplier to come into the city and make money out of it. Hindi ho. Pinagdaanan po ng public hearing ito with many transport group. Ito po yung ordinance. Yung preso po na na-mention nyo kanina or the preso po ng penalties na binibigay ho namin was decided by the ordinance. It was not decided by the supplier.
Was
So,
it agreed to, sorry Mayor, was it agreed to by your constituents na
Yes.
2 to 2,500 pesos na instead of mga tigpa 500 to 1,000?
Like any other ordinance city, Cito, we have public hearings prior to that. And pinag-aralan po ito ng malalim. Transport groups in our areas were invited. And when it comes to the execution and implementation po, hindi naman po private supplier nag-implement po ito eh. It is the city that's implementing. It
So
is our
you have-
transport group.
You have a monitoring center, a CCTV room or operations in Valenzuela, and it is manned and operated by employees of the Valenzuela city government?
No, the system is, there's no operation because this is technology driven na nga, is the cameras. So that is the cameras of the private sector. But the way it's monitored, kung saan nagbabayad ng ticket, saan, well, we call it adjudication committee. Meron ho kaming committee who listens. Kung meron kang petition, kung meron kang issues, kami ho yung nag-hear doon, hindi ho naman ho yung private sector, no? So these areas nito are covered by an ordinance. And under the local government code, we are allowed to go into PPP. So especially on technology-driven at no cost to the government. So these are the things, the advantages ng local government.
Yeah, but what about that issue raised nga by Congress? Kasi naging congressman ka. In fact, you are a two-term congressman, 15th and 18th Congress, and I think you were the first representative of your district. Now, your former colleague was pointing out that, yes, they're allowed to do PPP projects. The president has reiterated that during the SONA, but yung police power, hindi mo pwedeng i-farm out.
Well, first of all, Cito, I'm a three-term congressman.
Oh, three. Sorry.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm not sure with that. We have to review that again, no? But on anything that is for the safety of our motorists, for the public safety of our constituent, the city can decide on what's good for our constituents, no?
Okay.
And this is the reason why we put in place technologies like this for the safety of our motorists, no? Hindi ho natin hinahayaan na lang na dinosaur age ulit yung system natin wherein babalik ho tayo sa mga paglagay ng traffic enforcers, no? In other areas, we continue our traffic enforcers in that system. Pero kung gagawin naman ho natin, magko-complain ng tao, sabihin, kumikita yung traffic enforcer namin. Maraming kadalasan po, verbally and physically abuse ang mga traffic enforcers namin. So the LGU has the right to find solutions.
Okay.
And technology-driven solutions like NCAP is what we found na for the safety of our motorists. No?
Yeah, I think the debate, Mayor West, has not been about NCAP per se, but primarily on two issues. Number one is the prices of the fines and violations. As pointed out by Congressman Salceda, you're allowed to do that, but not at the point where it is, to quote him, it is oppressive, abusive, or confiscatory. And many of those who have been arrested or who are criticizing the NCAP are pointing out, bakit yung dating MMDA, okay naman yun we abide by it, we followed, we paid. Pero itong system na ito, I think you are charging equivalent to 5 days minimum salary. And that is one of the complaints. Second, yun daw mga ibang huli, very questionable. And then there was also a point raised that you cannot just change road signs unless you ask permission from the DPWH.
Well, on the fines, again, this is subjective to each ordinance, no? Again, it was not mandated by the supplier na mag-charge kayo ng ganitong amount. In fact, here in Valenzuela, we started operating in 2019 at the rate of 2,000, 2,500, and 3,000, no? But on January 2022, we started our bike lane. And yung nakita namin na nag-increase po yung violations ng bike lane and marami pong nag-complaints, we heard them sa social media, people in the coming up in the adjudication. Kaya we lowered it to 500, 1,000, and 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree naman on there's no issue here whether iakyat o ibaba. Ang point dito, there is no universal guidelines on what's the standard rate. Siguro yan ang something magandang pag-usapan. Hindi
Okay.
yung NCAP. But
Should that be
natin i-fine-tune together with LTO,
exactly
together with MMDA and the 5 mayors on what is the right penalties na would be acceptable. Pero Cito, bakit natin pinag-uusapan ang penalty? Kung ang tao ay what's important is to change the culture and the mindset of the motorist.
Mm-hmm.
Kung ang tao, ang motorist ay sumusunod sa patakaran, hindi dapat natin pinag-uusapan ang penalty. Ang pag-usapan natin dito, we have laws in place. And here in Valenzuela, Cito, we've proven that we've changed the culture and mindset of the Valenzuelano motorists because 80% po na nanghuhuli dito sa amin with violations are hindi taga Valenzuela. Only 20% ang taga Valenzuela.
Well, to be fair, Mayor West, I don't think this is an issue specific to Valenzuela. I think this is a Metro Manila issue, and what may be good in Valenzuela may not necessarily be done correctly in another city. I won't name cities na, no, dahil baka ako naman ang awayin. Pero I don't think it's about Valenzuela. I think your suggestion is well-timed, that we consult the LTO and the MMDA because they are the designated authorities regarding fines and penalties. Now, what about yung payments of these fines and penalties? Because I, for one, have been saying, kung pwede naman i-GCash na lang ang payment kasi magmumulta ka na, maaabala ka pa para pumunta ka kung saan-saan. And it's not really clear who's collecting the fine and where are the payments being made, Mayor West?
Well, we are, like I mentioned a while ago, that we are the one operating the system in our place. So we are the one collecting the fines. And we are the one also listening through the adjudication committee, convening this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we have, I'm not too sure lang. I don't want to name names companies of private sectors or digital wallets and digital payment companies, no? But yeah. I know we have tie-ups with them for easy access and payments, no? So
also for fines and penalties for traffic violations, Mayor?
Yes. So,
okay, well, hats off. I salute you. Matagal na naming pinupush yan. At least sa Valenzuela pala yan ang ginagawa nyo.
Yes, so pati ho taxes naman namin. We have the pass permit wherein you can get your taxes in less than 10 minutes. No, So everything is digitalized here. I just not privy too much on the detail on the payment. But what's important, yung adjudication committee, that yan ang para sa akin important. We're listening to our motorists. We're listening to our constituents. So kung ano man complaint, in fact, Cito, we've given amnesty actually to first-time violators. Marami kaming
Okay, well, congratulations again. Kasi yung isang city na alam kong popular ngayon sa Facebook, yun yung issue, yung adjudication. Kasi para raw nang babaraso, nang bubuli o nang i-intimidate yung adjudication officers. So it added to the conflict or to the friction. Anyway, I think we've cleared up a lot of the questions on this. Is there any scheduled plan of a meeting of all the cities, MMD and LTO to finally resolve this?
Well, unfortunately, until now, LTO is not listening to us. And this is the reason why all us 5 mayors came together para at nag-release kami ng joint statement. Originally, Cito, we were waiting. We were waiting till last week na mapag-usapan lahat ito. But since myself, I did not receive any call from the LTO. Mabuti pa nga ho si Chairman Carlos, kakaupo na lang ho yung August 10. The first thing na ginawa niya, tawagan kami, convene kami, met us in MMD office to discuss issues like this. Unfortunately, sa LTO, there's no meeting of minds. Kaya ho, lahat ho na itong lumalabas na issues are coming from the media, from Viber messages. LTO will speak to the media. So for me, Cito, our group, that's the reason why we had a joint statement released to the media and to the public, is because we are okay to fine-tune and tweak issues that we find are pending, no? And all we need is the guidance from LTO. Mapag-usapan na ito. I heard there was a technical working group that will be created, no? But again, I don't know when we will meet, if I am invited in the technical working group or the mayors are invited, no? So we are open in further improving this. It's a new system, Cito, kaya talagang adjustment pa. There are other cities with different rules. We have different rules. So siguro it's a high time that we thank the public for bringing this to us, yung mga different issues, and we hope that we can discuss this with LTO. But then again, Cito, it does not mean by na ang mga motorists natin baka mabalitaan na ganito pala, tatanggalin NCAP, hindi tutuloy, mag-overspeeding na at magdadrive na sa bike lane. Hindi ho. Yun ang kinatatakutan ko, Cito, mangyari dito.
I think we are in agreement there, Mayor Westman, no, na it's the NCAP is not the problem. I think it's essentially clarifications regarding adjudication plus also the fines and penalties. Kasi, yun pala, by the way, how long do people have to wait to find out? Because that was another issue raised by transport operators. One lady said, 1 taon bago ko nalaman na ang dami palang huli ng aking mga driver and it reached over 100,000 in fines. Syempre, operator ka, hindi ka naman driver, you don't know that your drivers have violated. But when they were registering their vehicles, ayun, nagputo ka na. What is the practice of informing violators or registered owners?
At the most 1 week.
Done by Valenzuela?
Yes.
Okay, so it is, ano yung, kasi sa MMDA, they forward it to LTO and LTO will just tell you, Bulaga, may huli ka. Or you can check online kung may huli ka ba. But how do you guys do it? You directly inform the registered owner of the vehicle or you forward it to LTO?
No, it's directly to the registered address. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because, but how do you know who you're arresting or where you're going to send the citation?
On the registered, that's the beauty of the software, the supplier, because it's connected with LTO. So it is sent to their registered address.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not privy to the arrangement of MMDA or the other suppliers. Yeah.
Okay, well, at least we are clear on that, Mayor West. So we will find out what will happen. And I think eventually we will resolve this. And thank you for making yourself available for the program, and kindly inform your fellow Metro Manila Mayor's Council na agenda, wala akong agenda. Kayo ang may agenda. Okay? Thank you very much. We are open and we are available. Thank you very much, Mayor West.
Very much, Cito. Thank you.
Okay, that's Mayor Wes Gatchalian, a three-term congressman and now mayor of Valenzuela City. Okay, and we will now go for a quick break. When we return, more talks, more interviews here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. And after talking about NCAP, let's now go quickly for a very short interview with our very busy guest regarding bread, the prices of bread. Let's introduce our guest.
Johnlu currently serves as the president of the Philippine Baking Industry Group, or PhilBaking. A self-taught baker, Kowa is the CEO and founder of the French Baker in 1989. He was the recipient of the Outstanding Young Filipinos Award in 1996 and was named one of the 500 Great Asians of the 21st century.
Okay, Johnlu, good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning, Cito, as always.
I need to ask this question before anything. How do you properly pronounce your family name?
The Chinese sound is Kwa.
Yeah.
Siyempre, Kowa dito sa atin.
Okay. Because I've been calling you Johnlu Kwa, and baka sabi ko, I might have been bastardizing his name all these years, not realizing it. So I was pronouncing it correctly, Johnlu Kwa. Okay, Johnlu, quick questions. Last time we spoke, the problems involved wheat and flour. The access to flour and the prices of flour. Now, it seems that the next problem is sugar. How is this sugar issue affecting bakers in the country? Because you are head of the association.
Yes, that's right. Sugar came as a big surprise because all of us hedged already buying our flour. Because in the flour milling industry, the players there are big and they're very well financed.
Mhm.
So advised us as early as the onset of the Ukraine war that going forward from February till the end of the year, these are the prices they got from the world markets. So they told us, okay, every week, every month, expect some adjustment. So everybody was okay, certain about it, planning their purchases. And then suddenly came the sugar crisis. So
In terms of cost to produce, how many percent is sugar in your bakery products? Like one piece of bread, how many percent of a piece of bread the sugar comprise?
yes, let's just talk about the piece of dough because there
Okay.
are components in producing that bread. You have the plastics, etc. Never mind the plastics and other things. Sugar cost constitutes about 12 to 18% of the cost of bread. What
Okay. And
are 65%?
Okay, and what happens now that there is supposed to be a shortage? Are bakers and related companies in a position to directly purchase as suggested by certain government officials?
Right now, the answer is no. In fact, last night I was in touch with the sugar mill owner. He told me that they only deal with wholesalers and big time users. So, well, obviously bakers are not big time enough. I hope, I suppose.
There's a lock-in primarily for traders and large corporations in production of sweeteners. Now, how are you going to resolve the problem?
Well, we have our traditional suppliers, Cito. They all assured us naman that as long as you're willing to pay the prevailing prices, supply should be okay.
Okay,
However,
you asked the DTI permission to raise prices for pandesal and bread related products, but that was before sugar became a determined problem. Combining the sugar shortage plus the prices of wheat, flour, etc., how much more will prices of bread go up?
actually, we're just thinking of recovering some costs based on the last request that was not submitted.
Mhm.
Some, sometime late May, early June, we were supposed to request for an adjustment in SRP.
Yeah.
That Secretary Lopez. And he kind of hinted to us that baka naman the situation might improve and maybe baka naman we can hold back for a while. So we talked about it in field baking and everybody was very supportive and they said, oh sige lang nga, let's support government, mitigate this super inflation. Then came the new administration and field baking members said, wait na lang, or we can still wait for a couple of months before we file. Because anyway, we know naman our costings of flour and it will be steadily increasing over time towards the end of December. So everybody waited patiently and says, sige na nga,
Yeah, we're kind of pressed for time, Johnlu. So can you still wait or do you really have to ask for a price increase now?
We're asking for a price increase now.
Okay, and my last question, when we last spoke, we both, unofficially launched the cocoa flour, the coconut-based flour for bread. Now, what about sugar, cocoa sugar? Can you use it for your bakery products?
Oh yeah, any sweetening agent is okay. It's just that it's more expensive.
Oh, it just because it's local and commercially available, it's not necessarily cheaper.
It's a different product, and it is not milled in such a way that it has scale economies.
Okay, well, thank you, Johnlu. Sorry that it's a very quick interview, but I got all bases loaded this morning, my friend.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, that's Johnlu Kwa, head of the Philippine Baking Industry Group. And now let's go to our third and final guest, someone who recently looked into my heart, found out what was deep in my heart. Literally, okay. We have with us a cardiovascular expert. Let's get to know him through this video.
Dr. Andrew Francisco is the head of the Diagnostic Cardiovascular Unit at the Rizal Medical Center, or RMC. Dr. Francisco is also the hospital's cardiology section chief.
Okay, Doc wanti ko na sabihin Doc Kiko. Doc Andrew, good morning to you, Doc. And how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Sir Cito, and thank you for having me this morning.
Okay, well, you are one of the few people who actually got to look into my heart. And you discovered my heart is no longer tender, it's a thunder heart. So welcome to the program. Please, the reason we asked you to join us this morning is because, as you know, I am a champion for public hospitals, and I have long been supportive of Rizal Medical Center. I've seen it from a really poor, dilapidated hospital in the 90s not being given attention to now a modern health facility. And I was surprised to find out that there is ano bang tawag dyan sa department mo? Cath lab ba yan? Heart? How do you officially call it?
We're officially called as the Diagnostic Cardiovascular Unit. And the Diagnostic Cardiovascular Unit actually serves to do the non-invasive test for our patients here in Rizal Medical Center. So lahat ng mga non-invasive tests, that would include your 12-lead ECG, your treadmill stress test, your 2D echo with Doppler, your 24-hour ambulatory PP and 24-hour Holter monitoring are being done in this particular unit.
Yeah, I remember this is not something well, pasensya ka na, no? Sa bilis ng takbo ng utak ko, may in-implant kaya tayo, nakaturbo yung utak ko ngayon. But anyway, Doc Andrew, when I visited your facilities, I was quite surprised to find out that you guys already do angiogram, angioplasty, and how long has this been going on at Rizal Medical Center?
Okay, so the first part, the non-invasive part, the Diagnostic Cardiovascular Unit, was inaugurated in December 8th of 2017. Since then, we've had also plans of establishing the invasive part naman. And that is actually a separate unit. We call that our vascular catheterization laboratory. That one was inaugurated on February 14 of 2020, a few months before the pandemic. And that is where we got to do our cases for interventional cardiology. It is, however, not exclusive just to our specialty. We share it with the other subspecialties, in particular interventional radiology, and even our colleagues from surgery and also our colleagues from neurology.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in other words, do you have what is the capacity of your diagnostic center? Kasi I know you have been you've been mentored ba? Is it correctly by the famous Dr. James Ho of the Heart Center, yeah, who always tells me, "Welcome home, Cito," when I have to go to the Heart Center. But in the Heart Center, talagang parang factory na di ba? But here in Rizal Medical Center, what is your capacities and volume?
Okay. For the capacity, as far as mga test itself is concerned, almost complete na. There are still a few gaps present, but these are gradually being filled up already. Our up and coming tests that we will also be able to offer our patients that would include our transesophageal echocardiogram, our dobutamine stress echo, our peripheral vascular studies. Lahat ng yon up and coming will be within hopefully the next few months as the machines come in. Now, as far as dun sa continuum ng spectrum from the diagnostic part to the therapeutic part, we are also capable already of performing angioplasties. We've actually performed our first case the previous month. And then for the more extreme cases that would require surgical intervention, we actually are able to perform also coronary artery bypass grafting or even open heart cases for congenital defects, valvular problems. Those are actually could also be performed here already in Rizal Medical Center.
Okay, what about the doctors or surgeons who perform this? I know you head the group and you have undertaken those surgeries, but in terms of profile, kasi alam mo, government hospitals have always been stereotyped, been dismissed as a second rate, etc. But who are the type of surgeons that one would be able to consult with at Rizal Medical Center?
Also, the complement of physicians that are available here in Rizal Medical Center is gradually being completed. Okay? So sa aming mga cardiologists, we have yung mga interventional cardiologists nandito. We have several of them present here. As far as yung sa kuryente naman ng puso, yung tinatawag namin mga electrophysiologists, we also have a few of them available here. Now, doon naman sa mga surgeons, we have yung mga colleagues from thoracic and cardiovascular surgeon. Actually, some of them, or majority of them, are also locally trained and also come from the Philippine Heart Center. So they come here and assist us in dealing with our patients here in Rizal Medical Center.
Because yes, I remember when I spoke to Dr. Marlu Mendoza, who is my cardiologist, and some of the heart center officials, they have actually said that through the years, they have been farming out the expertise. They have been training and setting up regional, anong tawag doon, training or seminars, etc., for cardiologists and heart specialists. So Rizal Medical has clearly benefited from that. Now,
Yes.
What is the most popular service that is sought by patients and referrals for the Rizal Medical Center in terms of heart issues?
In terms of heart issues, definitely there are two procedures that are being maximized quite well. One is the routine 12-lead ECG. And then the second procedure naman, the one that you undertook here in RMC, our 2D echo with Doppler studies. Those are the ones that have a lot of patient volume usually coming here. Even during the pandemic, actually, we did not totally shut down. We had patients having those particular procedures being done here at Rizal Medical Center.
Okay, now in terms of rates, how much more affordable is Rizal Medical Center in comparison to private hospitals? Not that I want to create friction, ladies and gentlemen, but magpakatotoo tayo. Many of us are employees. We have limited resources. Bakit ka pupunta doon sa facility na mangungutang ka when you can go to a very nice, well-staffed, and competent public hospital? So, Doc Andrew, Francisco, how competitive is the Rizal Medical Center in terms of ECG, in terms of 2D echo with Doppler? Baka mo yun?
Yes. We're actually very competitive. When we established the unit, we actually benchmark our costing, also looking into the costing of our other partners coming from the private hospitals. But a particular advantage here in Rizal Medical Center, since we're a government hospital, we can also offer our procedures at a much lower rate, even from what is listed, because we have friends coming from, we are able to get some subsidies from the government. Once our patients pass through the medical social services, we may be able to offer further discounts for our patients.
Okay, now what about in terms of professional fees? Kasi I've heard complaints that, in many occasions, hospitals are reasonable. It is the professional fee. Pag specialist ba nag-serve dyan sa Rizal Medical Center, does it follow that their professional fees will be government rate as well, or strictly PhilHealth rates?
Actually, for government, for service patients, Cito, we don't charge professional fees for our patients. Wala, lahat is care of PhilHealth na there's no professional fees charged for our particular patients if they're in the service category. For paid patients, you can probably charge your usual fees, but for the service patients, we don't charge our professional fees.
Okay, so pag pay patient, but in terms of facility services, what about rooms, etc.? Because I've always told my wife, if anything happens to me and you need to rush me to the hospital, take me straight to Rizal Medical Center. Wag na natin pag-usapan yun, ano? Now, but I have never really checked in. Parang hotel, no? Check in. What about the facilities for cardiac patients? Do you have dedicated rooms, or is it really whatsoever on the system?
We have a few dedicated rooms for private patients. That is what we refer to as the PhilHealth ward. Pero yun nga lang, it's also a first come, first served basis depending upon the vacancies that are present. One of the problems that COVID pandemic has brought to us is part of those other rooms that we have available for private patients have now been converted also to our COVID wards. So because they're the ones that are, you can isolate yung mga patients natin.
Okay.
So now that COVID is again around the corner, again having its, we have to again reopen some of our COVID wards natin. But we have rooms available naman, and we also have, kung talagang kinakailangan, mga ICU rooms that we can make use of.
Okay, well, Dr. Andrew Francisco, thank you very much for sharing your time this morning, and I hope next time mas relax ka na. Dahil
Yes.
nung magharap tayo, marami kang lecture sa akin, nile-lecturean mo ako eh. Ngayon
Okay.
ako magle-lecture sa'yo.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Francisco, for your time, and congratulations for all the efforts that the leadership of Rizal Medical Center and the DOH has put into improving the facility and giving us a really nice hospital here in Pasig. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, Sir Cito, for your support.
Okay, that's Dr. Andrew Francisco, head of the Diagnostic Cardiovascular Unit of the Rizal Medical Center. And now let's close the program. Let's close the week with a blessing from the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verses 23 to 24. This is the promise of the Lord, promise of God to us who obey him and have faith in him. They shall not labor in vain or bear children for calamity, for they shall be the offspring of the blessed of the Lord, and their descendants with them. Okay? Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear. Thank you very much for joining us this week, and pagpasensyahan nyo na kung medyo hindi in sync yung utak ko sa bibig ko. It's one of those weeks. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Please keep it here on Agenda.